Howdy, my name is Cloudy. Welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't check out my last video, make sure you check out my last video. You know what I'm saying? And if you enjoy your stay in Cloudyville today, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Today, we got a video from the Cosmic Wonder. Disney CEO confirms Marvel's new plans for movies and shows moving forward.
Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. We have a lot of Marvel news to go over today. A few days ago, Marvel Studios came out and revealed their new plan for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how many movies they're going to make a year, how many shows they're going to make a year, and they also admitted where they went wrong with Phase 4, 5, and 6. Basically, their strategy moving forward after Avengers Endgame was flawed. They have admitted that now. The Wall Street Journal did a big article about Marvel Studios and how they have realized that they have made too much content, and that is even coming from Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. But now
they did make too, bro. They did make way too fucking much, bro. They made so much to the point where when I looked on Disney Plus, bro, it was some shows I didn't even know that was there, bro. I was like, bro, when did they make the She-Hulk? You know what I'm saying? Like I saw the promo for it before it came out, but I didn't even realize it was out because I seen it with so many other things out, like the Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying? Like it was confusing me. I was just like, bro, there's so many different shows, but they all only have like 1 or 2 seasons, bro. You know, and I think that's really bad, bro. Like each season, if they gonna make shows like that for these characters, bro, they should at least have the max of 4 to 5 seasons, bro, explaining their story and they, you know what I mean? But they don't have it like that,
from
bro.
Disney CEO Bob Iger about Marvel's new plan. In another piece about the strategy of Marvel moving forward, it seems like they really want us to know that they are trying their best to change and be better moving forward, having multiple outlets do multiple pieces on the same subject. This new one from Variety is titled, Bob Iger says Thunderbolts is a first and best example of Marvel's new
this summer's hot
strategy. We lost a little focus by making too much. And it starts off by stating basically what we heard from the Wall Street Journal from Kevin Feige, but now the same thing is being admitted by Disney CEO Bob Iger, as it states, Disney's CEO Bob Iger admitted the company's film slate has struggled in post-pandemic times by focusing too much on quantity and not enough quality. Now, this article is primarily about Marvel, but when Bob Iger says this, he is actually speaking about Disney as a whole, because he actually ends the article by stating that he has a lot of confidence overall in Disney's upcoming slate with films like Lilo and Stitch, Zootopia, Fantastic Four: The First Steps, Avatar: Fire and Ash, stating that he thinks they're going to close out 2025 very well. But let's dive into what he specifically says about Marvel Studios and their new plan moving forward. The article begins by basically stating what a lot of people have naturally observed. The Marvel Cinematic Universe hasn't really restored its luster since the epic culmination of 2019's Avengers Endgame. They state that they've had hits like Deadpool and Wolverine, Spider-Man: No Way Home, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But success has been widely inconsistent, as tentpoles like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, The Marvels, and Captain America: Brave New World were among the first comic book franchise to lose money for Disney since the MCU brought superhero movies in vogue. And this morning there was an investors call for Disney. And Bob Iger said, I'm
not gonna lie, bro. The movies he said, Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, bro, I feel like that movie was more of like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like that movie was more like homework. Captain America: Brave New World, that was a great movie. I really feel like that movie was probably one of the best ones they put out in a minute. You know what I'm saying? As a like singularity type movie for a character. I think this was one of their best ones, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But that's just me, bro. You know, some Marvel fans loved it. Some Marvel fans feel like they could have done way better. I feel like they could have added an extra hour to it. That's just me, though. I really think movies should be more than 2 hours long, bro. I don't think no movie should be an hour or two. That right there is pretty much an episode of Power. If it's just an hour long, you know what I'm saying? That's an episode of Power, bro. Those are TV shows time limits now, bro. Movies got to be 2+ hours long, bro.
You know morning there was an investors call for Disney, and Bob Iger said, we all know that in our zeal to flood our streaming platform with more content, that we turn to all of our creative engines, including Marvel, and had them produce a lot more. We've also learned over time that quantity does not necessarily beget quality, and frankly, we've all admitted to ourselves that we lost a little focus by making too much. By consolidating a bit and having Marvel focus much more on their films, we believe that will result in better quality. And I think the first and best example is Thunderbolts. I feel very good about that. And this is basically what we heard a few days ago in the big article by the Wall Street Journal. Marvel particularly is going to cut back on the shows that they produce. And based on what we learned from that article, they're not really going to be super connected to the overall story of the MCU movies. Now, that's not saying that they won't be connected.
See, that right there. Okay, I like that, but I'm not gonna lie. When he first said that in the video I said before, you know, he explained like they gonna be having characters that don't really connect too much with them. You know, that threw me off a little bit. I was like, I don't know how that's gonna be possible. Especially, well, I could see it happening if all this happens after Secret Wars. But if they talking about doing some of these movies before Secret Wars, bro, I would think all these characters would tie in to Secret Wars, since all these characters supposed to come in and fight, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking every movie leading up to Avengers Secret Wars is going to tie in. Everything coming in is going to tie into that movie. But if he's talking about after, then it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? That means the movies themselves are going to be the storylines, and the TV shows are just going to be individual character storylines, just so we can see a character on the screen again, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, Blade, Ghost Rider, Iceman can have a show. I feel like Jubilee should get one. You know what I'm saying? I watched some of not watched, but I saw some of her abilities. I feel like she'll have a dope little TV series or something.
They still will exist inside of the MCU. But it's a lot of However, Marvel's strategy for shows moving forward is that they want to make shows that you don't have to watch anything else prior, no other movies or other shows, to watch a new show, unless it's a season 2, because they've also revealed that when they make shows, they want to make them for multiple seasons, with the best example of that being Daredevil Born Again. They're already filming season 2 as we speak, and there could even be a season 3. But Marvel is kind of relying on the fans to tell them what essentially we like and what we don't like, which is kind of where the new strategy is coming from.
In the Wall Street, I said, bro, my last one, that's why y'all gotta watch all my videos, you know what I'm saying? If you in Marvel's comments, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just the Marvel universe in general. If you in their comment section, bro, they might just see your comment and they might just consider some of your ideas, bro. So comment in my videos, you know what I'm saying? Comment on bro videos, on Everything Always videos. Comment on the Instagram post, because some of your ideas might make the
article. They stated multiple times that fans couldn't really keep up with all of the content, and Kevin Feige himself even admitted that it was starting to kind of feel like homework. And while I can kind of agree with this, I do think that if everything they put out was insanely good, nobody would have had a problem with it whatsoever. We would have welcomed all the content. The main issue was everything they released wasn't all really good. Some of it was, but also some of it was just okay, and some of it was actually bad. There weren't many that were bad, but there were some. But now they have a new head of Marvel Television, Brad Winderbaum. He is in charge of Marvel TV. Now, ultimately, Kevin Feige will have final say in everything, but he trusts Brad Winderbaum to make all the big decisions. And this, in turn, clears up.
Okay, so this new guy, bro, okay. My boy got on the team and now coached him, put him in. Let's see how many points he put on the board, bro. You know what I'm saying? First quarter, first time starting, first time in the lineup. You better be hooping, bro.
The TV side for him, so he can simply focus on the movies. With the Wall Street Journal article, they basically stated that Kevin Feige was spread way too thin, trying to work on multiple movies and multiple shows. He just didn't have the time to devote individually to these projects. But now, since they are only going to make one or two shows a year, which they revealed, and
which gives him more time to focus on stuff, bro. If it's like 90 shows coming out at a time, bro, how is Kevin Feige gonna get in, bro? How is he gonna hoop like that, bro? We gotta give Disney some points, you know what I'm saying? We gotta give Disney some points on the board. They are admitting to a lot of their failures. They are admitting that they have messed some things up and they were stepping on Kevin Feige's toes. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate Disney for that. You know what I'm saying? It's all love here.
Isn't head of TV. I mean, he's head of everything. But Brad Winderbaum is controlling TV.
And it's not just for Marvel.
He is now going to be able to focus on the 3 movies a year that Marvel Studios makes. And for the Disney fans, it sounds like this is the overall plan for Disney as well. As Bob Iger states that the next 18 months are going to feel like 2019. And he believes that the next 18 months are going to be the best that they have been for the company in a very long time. Well, since 2019. So Bob Iger states that the Thunderbolts is the first example of their new quality. And I really liked the Thunderbolts. I thought it was a great movie. It's not without its flaws, but the writing and the direction of the film were a lot better than really what we've seen recently. But I think the true determining factor here is going to be the Fantastic Four First Steps. Because this truly is the first film that they've kind of had their new strategy.
Do you think this candle will cover up my friend's overpowering cologne?
Impossible. Hey, do you mind paying? All I have are nickels.
Not at all.
Do you have change for a nickel?
Unlimited 2% cash back. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card.
Dad, don't forget about my new cleats.
Sweetie, I can't make it to Dick's this week.
Have you heard of Dix.com?
Have I heard of Dix.com?
Strategy with. Because while they were filming the Thunderbolts, Kevin Feige was still pretty involved with TV. However, it wasn't the case for the Fantastic Four First Steps.
I honestly think Kevin Feige is just not I really do believe he just loves making movies more than TV shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think he just liked the movie format better than making episodes. You know, it might be easier for him to do, or maybe that's just where his mind is at, like making a full story and that's it. You know what I'm saying? He don't really want to break it down. Because when you think about it, when you break each episode down, bro, it is like, yeah, you can't just cut the story off and section it, but you do kind of got to make a separate beginning and end to that part of the story, if y'all get what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Kevin Feige was super involved in the development
this might
of
just
the
be easier
Fantastic
for him to
Four
do it
First
this
Step.
way.
So this will be the true test of quality in my
so Fantastic
personal
Four
opinion.
is gonna
However,
be the
like
true
I
test.
mentioned, the fans will ultimately decide that.
remember
In a
that.
new
Y'all
interview
do
with
too.
Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he revealed the determining factor of whether or not we could get a Daredevil Born Again Season 3. In a recent interview with Awards Buzz, he revealed that
watched
the
like 2
team is
episodes
already
of this.
planning to do a Season 3. This is what he said. If they let us do it, we have a plan. It is up to the fans to watch and get excited, and it is up to us to please them and get the story right. We are looking
gotta make that
forward
money
in
back,
a big
you know?
way. Here he basically tells us that if the fans love Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and they want a Season 3, Marvel Studios will do it. And I do think that is going to be a big part of Marvel's strategy moving forward. If fans like what they're producing, then they're going to continue to do things the same way. If they make a movie or a show that the fans don't like, and they do watch, they look at all the ratings, they look at comments on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, they are
telling you, bro,
searching.
y'all
They have
comments
people
matter.
whose specific jobs are to go and find out what the fans are thinking. And with their new strategy, if they are finding that fans really do love everything that they're doing now, they love the shows and they love the movies, then they're going to continue to produce them in the same way. And I hope they keep that in mind, because the best way to do that is to simply make great projects, make great movies, and make great shows. And as crazy...
I really do think them mixing in... Bro, my mics keep dying. I really do think them mixing in a lot of these characters, I mean, like mixing in the animated parts of the show will actually be better. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what y'all think they should do, bro. I honestly, to be honest, I'm glad that Disney has admitted their failures. You know, that's perfect, you know, because then that lets us know they're paying attention to everything we're saying to the fans, you know what I mean? So this is beautiful, man. I'm excited for it. I hope y'all excited. I hope everything that's about to come now is just going to make us smile and be happy, you know?